shores are simply stunning. And it's breathtaking scenery like this that fuels people's desire to live in a spectacular home by the sea.
We're surrounded by a truly diverse and simply dazzling coastline, so it's no surprise the British seaside holds such allure.
I'm Charlie Luxton, and over the past 2 summers I've experienced some of Britain's best coastal homes.
But I'm on a quest to find even more wonderful properties in wondrous locations around Britain's sparkling shoreline.
In this series, I'll open the doors of exquisite homes.
That is my kind of building.
That combine fabulous interior design.
What a space.
With breathtaking views.
That is amazing.
And cross paths with people lucky enough to call our epic coast home.
This is a serious bit of stonework, this.
It's the Matterhorn of dry stone wall.
My destination this week is North Wales and the beautiful island of Anglesey. Here, fabled former smugglers' cabins conceal cool interiors. A working lighthouse doubles as a home that shouts from the cliff tops.
So you would live here in the fog and you'd hear...
And contemporary masterpieces jostle for the best coastal views.
To walk through that door and to have that.
It's magic.
With its dramatic cliffs and tranquil, unspoiled beaches, Anglesey, or Ynys Môn to give it its Welsh name, has a coastline so spectacular that pretty much all of it has been designated an area of outstanding natural beauty. Add to that a rural serenity and rich cultural heritage, and it's certainly a fascinating place to visit.
It has a reputation as an enigmatic place. It's where the mysterious Celtic Druids made their last stand against the mighty Roman Empire in the 1st century AD. And to be honest, I don't know much about the island, so I'm really looking forward to having a good explore.
The 5th largest of Britain's islands, Anglesey's 125 miles of rugged coastline juts out from Wales's northwestern tip into the Irish Sea. My arrival destination is the horseshoe-shaped harbour of Menai. Its name derives from camas, the Welsh word meaning bend or loop in the bay.
Many people who visit Anglesey rush through it on their way to catch a ferry over to Ireland, 73 miles to the west. But this island is a hidden gem. And look, what an amazing location to have a coastal home.
I'm arriving on the island on the fishing charter Stingray. Cod, pollock and skate are its regular catch. Today it's just me it's landing in this pretty, tranquil harbour, which was once the main port for the north of Anglesey. This picturesque place with its pastel pebble dash cottages is the most northerly harbour in Wales. However, most visitors to Anglesey arrive via its main gateway in the south, which is where I'm heading first. From Menai, I'm travelling down to the banks of the Menai Strait, where just 400 metres separate Anglesey from the Welsh mainland. The story of the first fabulous property on my agenda is intertwined with the island's best-known architectural landmark.
One of the defining elements of the history of Anglesey is its place between London and Dublin, and that has resulted in perhaps the most iconic structure on the whole island. This beautiful bridge, the Menai Bridge, built between 1819 and 1826 when Thomas Telford set about improving that link. Prior to the construction of this, to get to the island you came across on little ferry boats, or in the case of the thousands of cattle that were taken from the island over to the mainland, you'd swim across at low tide.
At the time, Telford was leading the world in extraordinary feats of engineering. And this took even him 7 years to complete.
It is 100 feet high, 30 metres clear, so you can imagine vast ships could sail underneath it. And incredibly, those chains weigh over 360 tons. I mean, it's impressive today, but just imagine how mind-blowing it would have been 200 years ago.
Monumental in size, the bridge vastly improved the communication and transport links between Great Britain and Ireland. But this masterpiece of engineering was possibly less of a blessing for the first house I'm heading out to see. Lurking in the shadows of the bridge's enormous stone pillars lies this quirky stone and timber shack. It was tucked out of sight for good reason. Rumoured to be a smuggler's den, it furtively kept a low profile until the building of the bridge completely blew its cover. Tales of contraband may be myth and legend, but this concealed cabin now provides the perfect holiday hideaway for Jules Rathbone and his wife Megan.
Hello, Megan.
Hi. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
What an amazing location. It's beautiful. I mean, it's like halfway between a tree house and a boathouse. Because you are right down by the water, aren't you?
Yep, that's the Menai Strait. It's right out here.
The house is now aptly named Menadwin, supposedly an amalgamation of the Welsh words for place and theft. But stashed booty such as tobacco, brandy and tea has been replaced by this bright, stylish space, now designed to accommodate large Rathbone family gatherings that began more than a century ago.
What's the original history of the building? Because it is in a most unusual position.
It's been in the family for about 100 years.
But what was it built as? Because, I mean, it's literally right on the water.
Well, originally, it's thought that it was a smuggler's house. Before the Menai Bridge was built, this is the shortest point in the Straits, and it was used to smuggle contraband over from the mainland.
Stash it in this...
Stash it in here, hidden away, in amongst the trees.
And then whisk off into the island.
Yeah.
And then it was added to.
Yeah, so it's gone up, and then it's gone sideways, and then...
Just sort of evolved as sort of the requirements of your family over the last 100 years.
Yes, they kept having children. So Jules is one of 5, so every time they had another child, they had to provide more.
Right, so, yeah, 1 of 5, right. So then it was like, God, we need another bedroom.
So a couple of bedrooms, exactly.
Bought by Jules's ancestors in the 1890s, its colourful past included a spell as a metalwork studio, student digs and a holiday home for district nurses during the war. Cleverly designed so all the windows in the house look out over water, it gives the impression you're floating amongst the fascinating eddies and whirlpools of a constantly fluctuating sea.
It always changes the water. We call it Menadwinitis. You just stare at it all day long. Menadwinitis is what it's
right, because Menadwin is the house, yeah. Menadwinitis is just sort of staring in a kind of lost,
an ever-changing sort of sea.
What's going on there is fascinating. I think I'm prone to it. I could suffer from that.
This stylish timber-framed top half of the building is the most recent addition, used as a base for whichever family member is taking advantage of the incredible adventure playground outside. While downstairs, we head back into the building's seemingly murky past.
So this is the old, original stone bit of the building.
Just this, this room here.
It's one room.
Yep. This is what it was back in 1800 or whatever. So this is the old smuggler's bit.
It's now a bunk room for the younger generation. However, sleeping down here almost requires having sea legs.
It's surreal though, when you're lying in that bed and you look out the window and you see the tide rising and rising and you think, when is it going to stop? Actually, is it going to come in or not? you really do feel like you're sitting in a boat there.
It's fantastic. I can imagine all the kids piling down here with the low ceilings and the bunks. You know, it must be a real playground.
We jump out of the windows quite often at high tide.
Right.
So it does look pretty close. And as you said, it looks a bit like a boathouse and you feel like you're in a bit of a...
Right down on the water.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to get a sense of what the house looks like because you don't really see it, do you, from land?
No, the only really way of getting a sense of what it's like is if you're out on the water.
On a boat.
On a boat, yeah. That's the way you get a proper feel for it.
And have you got a boat?
We have.
You've got a boat. Can we go on the boat and look at the house?
Why not?
I like a boat.
Okay,
Should we go on the boat?
Yeah.
Menai has been a holiday home for many Rathbones down the years, and while the means of travel might have changed, the pure pleasure of being on the water has remained the same.
This is a lot of fun. Is that what it's all about, you know, being here? Is it about getting out on the water, out on the boat?
Yeah, we used to be out, come rain or shine, we used to be out there every day. We used to come down for about 6 weeks a year. And we'd always be thrown into the water to, I don't know, swimming, canoeing, skiing, whatever it was.
Great to see the bridge from down here as well, isn't it? It just looks so natural, you know, wonderfully evolved piece of architecture. You know, like when you see really lovely old buildings, often it's because somebody's had a crack and had another go and whacked a bit on, and it's really, you can't...
No overall design.
No
it's just
overall
happened.
design.
It just comes out perfect.
Yeah, but I love the way the spaces connect and you move around it and you're sort of in under stairs and it's something really sort of...
It's quirky.
Swallows and Amazons, you know, kind of tree houses.
With the magnificent bridge as a backdrop, this is a breathtaking spot to have a home. And I'm a little jealous of Fergus, Casper and Iona, who have continued the family tradition of spending their summers by the sparkling waters of the Strait.
It's nice that you're recreating the childhood that you had for your kids.
Yeah, no, we had great times, you know, every summer, 6, 7, 8 weeks down here, and now trying to do the same for them.
What about you guys? Do you enjoy coming down here?
Yeah.
What's the best bit?
Skiing, jumping out the window. Yeah, skiing, jumping out the window, wakeboarding.
It's not often when you go to a house you can jump out the window, is it?
Yeah, you don't too many around Anglesey that you can go right on the front.
I mean, that's pretty special, isn't it?
Have to get the tide right though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there is. You get a very keen sense of tide living here. I have got house envy, absolutely. I mean, look, sat here. It's idyllic.
It is idyllic.
In this sheltered spot next to the magnificent Menai Bridge, Jules and Megan's home is certainly a serene place to watch the world sail by. Later on my journey, I'll discover how Anglesey's pristine waters are certainly worth their salt.
So look at that. Beautiful, beautiful crystals. They're just incredible, aren't they? The way they sparkle.
You're taking seawater and creating white gold, aren't you?
And a lived-in lighthouse offers up the most illuminating view.
That's fantastic, isn't it? You really are right out on the point.
I'm in North Wales, visiting the idyllic island of Anglesey. Here you can walk for miles on wide, windswept beaches and only come across the odd hardy bather. With such breathtaking scenery, it's the perfect place to escape from it all. From the shadow of the Menai Bridge, I've headed northeast to Point Linus.
It's lovely when you're traveling around and you find a little place like this, almost by accident. It becomes a personal discovery. It can have a very long-lasting impression on you. And it's a bit like the next house I'm going to see, which was first discovered by someone visiting the island, and it stayed with him because 22 years later, he came back and bought it. And it's just over there.
Looking like a mini fortress ready to repel marauders from the sea, this huddle of 3 gleaming white buildings is actually a working lighthouse. And while it protects ships from running aground on this rocky headland, it's also now an extraordinary family home. It's owned by civil servant Robin Beckman, and I'm meeting him on his very long driveway.
So Robin, tell me, how did you end up in this pretty exposed, wild and unruly place?
Well, when I first met my wife, we used to come driving around the island and looking for places to potentially buy, I suppose. And we used to just picnic down the bottom down there and
look up at this.
And look up and say, what a fantastic place.
So this was a fantasy that you
It was a fantasy, really, yeah. So, I mean, 20 odd years ago, we had no way we could have afforded it or anything, so...
So how did you know it was on the market?
We'd been down in the south of England, and we were just moving back up for, family reasons. And just going around all the estate agents looking for houses. And my wife came out with this enormous photograph of it. I said, you'll never guess what's on the market.
Didn't you think, wait a second, it's a little bit isolated. It's a little bit, it doesn't get more exposed than this, really, does it?
It doesn't really, no.
This wonderful secluded complex dates back to 1835, and Robin and his wife Iona moved here in 2001, becoming the first civilians ever to live on the site.
So it looks a little bit like a castle, doesn't it, from out here?
It is. I think some of that sort of harks back to when lighthouses were kind of semi-fortified, because they used to have to keep the lighthouse keeper safe for when people were trying to black out the lights to wreck ship.
Ah. So what, lighthouse, sort of head honcho, lighthouse keeper?
Head keeper and 2 assistants. And there would have been 3 families here. And of course, manning the lighthouse 24 hours a day, it's 3 8-hour shifts.
3-hour shifts.
Yeah.
Inside, the building is as reassuringly sturdy as its intimidating exterior suggests.
Oh, look at that staircase. That's proper,
great.
Isn't it? That's rugged. God, they haven't even got a slight bit of wear in them. They're fully untouchable.
Really, really solid.
I love these kind of utilitarian buildings and military barracks. They are always so
solid,
so hardcore.
To the right, there's a welcoming lounge, where the robust theme is warmed up by comfy leather sofas that cluster around the restored original fireplace. Brick-patterned parquet flooring leads through to a dining room on the left, where an antique oak table dominates. Upstairs are 2 cosy bedrooms, while a slipper bath sits snugly in the timber-panelled ensuite.
What condition was the property in when you bought it?
The 3 buildings were in different kind of states, really. This had been empty for 20 years. The cottage has been empty for 30 years. So the cottages were really very derelict, so they had to completely renew them inside.
Once home to the assistant lighthouse keepers, the 2 cottages are now holiday lets. And throughout all the renovations, the challenge for Robin was marrying conservation with modernisation.
You want to keep as much of the original as you can, because if you take it away, there's something about the character goes. And it's balancing that with, kind of modern fittings as well at the same time. So it is an awkward balance to strike.
While careful thought has been given to updating the interior, it's outside where you're reminded what this building really is.
That's fantastic, isn't it? You really are right out on the point, aren't you?
Yeah.
What an incredible view. Ah, so the lamp. Love this curved glass. That's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
The lighthouse, with its illuminating 1,000-watt lamp, is still fully operational, although thankfully Robin's exempt from light-keeping duties.
Look at that thing, look at the glass.
Leaded light in it and everything.
It's now remotely controlled from Coast Guard HQ 250 miles away in Essex.
They've decommissioned the foghorn. That doesn't work anymore.
That might be a good thing.
Yeah, well, no, we miss it, actually. It's been decommissioned for about 3 years now.
Oh, right, so it used
to operate when we were
Whoa,
here. Yeah.
So you would live here in the fog and you'd hear...
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't. Everybody else would, but in the house you wouldn't hear a thing.
You wouldn't hear it at all?
So, no. Yeah.
It took Robin 2 decades to realise the dream of owning this unusual home. And despite its location on an exposed peninsula, it's the perfect spot to escape the daily pressures of his job on the mainland.
For me, it's great. I work just over the coast over there. I can come home from work. It's quite a stressful job, so just come home and you can't chill out anywhere better than this.
Well, I can see why you've been here for 16 years. And I think it was worth the wait, you know, the 20 years
The
waiting.
20-year wait, yeah.
Serenity and solitude are definite attractions to living on Anglesey. But there's also plenty on offer to boost the heart rate. From shooting the stiff breeze kite surfing to exploring rocky coves and sea kayaks. Even walking the island's coastal path will take your breath away. I'm off to meet a couple whose love for this coastal lifestyle drew them to move here and set up their own business in the small seaside town of Bryn on the south of the island. And the story of Alison and David Lee Wilson's unique vocation began over 20 years ago.
How did you end up in Anglesey, in this part of the world?
We were doing a degree at the local university.
In Bangor?
Yeah. And we really fell in love with this island and we wanted to stay here. We'd have done anything to stay here. And then I was on a 2-year course, and in the 3rd year I had to do something different. And I started with mussels and fish, and we sold them in a students' union.
So, raw, like wet fish?
Yeah, like wet fish.
Literally, it dripped all over the floor.
Do students buy wet fish? Beer.
We thought they
pot
might.
Noodles.
That was the point.
Yeah. No, they bought the mackerel,
lecturers did.
but the lecturers bought the fish.
Right.
But that just gave us that glimmer that perhaps we could make a living.
Hawking smelly seafood around university halls had limited appeal. So they changed tack and replaced seafood with the stuff we sprinkle on our fish and chips. Salt. Anglesey has some of Britain's cleanest seawater, making it a great location to exploit the invisible riches within each and every wave.
Why is it such good seawater? Why is it so pure?
Simple reasons. We've got the Gulf Stream bringing seawater round our feet twice a day. New seawater from out there is coming in. There's no nasty industry. It's really clean seawater. And then we're surrounded by 4,000 or 5,000 tonnes of mussels on the seabed here. And each one of those is filtering 9 pints an hour. So this water is just incredibly naturally well filtered.
So that kind of coming together of the Gulf Stream and the mussel bed means that this bit of water here is specifically...
It's special. I had to visualise salt as a food, so I came down here with a saucepan, got seawater and boiled it on lager. And that's how we started.
Now, they may have started with little more than a pinch, but 20 years on, the couple are producing grains on a grand scale from this eco-friendly factory. Production may have stepped up a notch, but the basic chemistry is the same. Seawater is pumped into metal trays and gently warmed over 10 days until the liquid evaporates and the essential white crystals begin to form. And it's then that Alison and David start earning their crust.
This is the magic moment for me when it changes from being a liquid to a solid.
Little crystals form and then it sort of brings in.
Grows around each crystal.
Yeah.
Harvesting the salt involves using a rather basic agricultural tool.
So all you're going to do is take that
shovel.
Yep. And then very gently go along the bottom of the crystallizer.
This has to be the most sensitively I've ever handled a shovel. But what I'm delicately digging out is something very special.
The idea is to keep all the flakes intact because we like the big flakes.
Yep.
So you do have to be really, really gentle with it.
God, build up your muscles doing this, doesn't it?
I know, it does.
With a market value of around £30, each shovelful is peppered with a staggering 5,000 individual crystals.
So look at that for beautiful, beautiful crystals. They're just incredible, aren't they? The way they sparkle.
You're taking seawater and creating sort of white gold, aren't you?
A product so distinctive it's been granted protected designation of origin status, together with the likes of Parma ham and champagne. And sprinkled on a fresh tomato is apparently the best way to savour this delicacy.
It's very sweet, isn't it? No bitterness whatsoever.
No.
Really nice texture. It's fantastic.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, well, we like it.
Here, David and Alison concoct weird and wonderful salty infusions like charcoal, celery and vanilla.
And it goes really, really well with...
Wow!
Yeah, with scallops or lobster, but also very nice with chocolate or ice cream.
Great, yeah.
And it's not just me who's a fan. Apparently, US President Barack Obama is partial to this Anglesey export.
If you go and visit the White House, you get given a box of Obama's favourite chocolates, and our salt is sprinkled on each of those chocolates.
That's extraordinary. So from the sort of the byproduct of a little mussel in the straight Menai Strait.
Students who wanted to live on an island would have done anything. We've taken something almost globally.
Next on my Anglesey agenda, I discover a splendid modern mansion set in rural coastal bliss. Amazing view over the sea.
Well, it's much better than just a view of the sea. I mean, it's nice to have a bit of meadow and trees, etc.
Lovely old trees.
And discovering an abandoned brickworks fires my imagination to design a fantasy seaside home.
In this rundown state, it's incredibly evocative and romantic. Can you imagine building a house somewhere here?
I'm exploring the Welsh island of Anglesey, a place that boasts a rich history and some fascinating homes by the sea. Its coastal landscape is one of stirring beauty, but it also bears the scars of a tough and gritty industrial past. And it's a visit to one of these heroic, ghostly relics that's inspired me to design an extraordinary seaside home of my own.
Anglesey is a beautiful place to visit, but tourism is a relatively recent addition to the local economy, which traditionally relied on agriculture, industry, and more specifically mining. They've been mining copper here for as long as anyone can remember. That there's also porcelain, and here at Porthwen, a brickworks. Now this place was abandoned in the middle part of the 20th century, and it's been crumbling away, rusting away ever since. And I can't think of a more beautiful setting for a factory. And in this rundown state, it's incredibly evocative and romantic. Can you imagine building a house somewhere here?
What would once have been a bustling, smoky cauldron of industry is now a tranquil place to wander and wonder. What better spot to understand these epic man-made structures than from atop this equally amazing rocky outcrop.
On a day like today, where else would you want to be? I really don't know. It's so beautiful, amazing little harbour, and then these structures are kind of epic and heroic, and they sort of speak about lost civilizations, a bit like the Roman Forum or the Mayan ziggurats in the forest. It's really very powerful. And then you've got these amazing dome structures, these brick kilns. And I think that using those, you could create the most incredible house.
Using the sturdy beauty of these kilns as a trio of supports, I'd balance a huge solid block on top. Like the industrial fabric of the brickwork below, this would be heavy duty too. A muscular, sharp-edged affair of weathering steel.
And it's sort of referencing the industrial heritage of this location. But if you look at that backdrop, I mean, there's a kind of really nice vertical straight lines going against the kind of random nature of the cliffs. And I think that with these circles and you need something kind of very purely geometric to fit.
The entrance would be through the middle brick kiln with the bedrooms and the two at either side. Upstairs, an open-plan living area will stretch the full length of the building with a cantilevered lounge that protrudes out over the harbour below.
When you're sat in your sitting room, you look straight out through the Irish Sea out towards the North Atlantic. And I think something that kind of robust, slowly, very controlled way, rusting here, would fit beautifully into this, well, it must be one of the most stunning places I've ever been.
Designing your own home is one way of getting your perfect place on Anglesey. But if you prefer a more ready-made option, there's plenty on offer. If colourful contemporary homes catch your eye, then this purple and white rendered modernist house with checkerboard paving might be for you. The bold design also incorporates floor-to-ceiling windows on both levels, offering views over the Irish Sea. But at £700,000, the price tag isn't exactly a drop in the ocean. If seclusion is more your style, then this detached mansion near Holyhead could be a winner. Set in private grounds, this 8-bedroom beauty enjoys views across the local golf course and out to sea. Valued at just under £500,000, hopefully this figure won't put you off. And if a home right next to the Menai Strait is up your street, then this magnificent boathouse just across the water in Bangor has been recently refurbished and extended. Inside there's a sleek, state-of-the-art kitchen, while a luxurious lounge with patio doors connects onto the raised deck with those epic vistas. It also comes with its own private jetty, but priced at £1.25 million, it might be a lilo rather than a luxury yacht you're launching from here. For the next home on my adventure around Anglesey, I'm travelling 27 miles from the northern tip to its southeastern corner, near the village of Kyme. Amidst this green and pleasant land, a patchwork of fields is gently caressed by the sparkling Irish Sea. And alongside quiet country lanes, a kaleidoscope of colourful wildflowers bloom. However, behind the stone walls of the home I'm here to visit, there's a much more manicured world. This sprawling, majestic mansion looks like it's been stood here since Georgian times, but it's actually only 10 years old. And I'm here to meet the owners of this elegant new build, John and Polly Wood.
It's a really beautiful spot, isn't it? It's sort of like your classic, rural, bucolic landscape painting almost. To get this mix of kind of rolling countryside and then...
And we've got woodland, we've got everything really.
Amazing view over the sea.
Well, it's much better than just a view of the sea. I mean, it's nice to have a bit of meadow and trees, etc.
The lovely old trees.
And how far down to the sea do you go?
Well,
almost.
Almost,
there's
but
a small field.
God damn it. God damn it.
The couple fell in love with the property and its idyllic location while on a walking holiday. But 18 years ago, it was in a state of utter disrepair.
The house had been derelict for 35 years, but when I saw it, there was rat runs, roof off, you know, so overgrown.
Fortunately, Polly and John's vision extended beyond the vermin, and they stumped up £500,000 with grand plans to refurbish the original buildings. But just as work got underway, it became painfully clear that this once splendid house needed more than a little TLC.
When they started working, it was all sort of shuddering. There was no foundations, so we had to go back to planning, change it from refurbishment to full planning, and then we had to drop it and then...
Make something new.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you rebuilt it on the footprint
Yes.
of what was here.
Yes.
Yes.
So kind of recreating that
Yes.
Georgian
Yes,
kind of
I
character.
think it is. It's quite Georgian looking, isn't it?
Later, I head inside and discover an antique interior with some surprising modern additions.
What's this strange stone structure?
Well,
in the
that
corner?
is John's loving life.
It's like a giant cocktail cabinet.
It is full of drinks. If you name a drink, we can make it for you.
Before visiting a contemporary cliffside home that hovers high above the waters of the Menai.
Wow, that's quite some drop, isn't it?
Yeah, be careful.
It's good exercise going down there.
I'm wandering the craggy and colourful coast of Anglesey. I've stopped off at a magnificent coastal estate near Kye, where Polly and John Wood's modern home replicates a Georgian manor that once stood on this site. And hidden behind this splendid facade lies another new addition, a perfectly cultivated secret garden. A pocket of horticultural perfection where neatly trimmed shrubs and rows of lavender and allium flank an Italianate fountain. But inside, the modern replica gives way to something altogether more antique. A treasure trove of gilded mirrors and glass chandeliers. French ormolu mantel clocks and regal armchairs, from which to admire the vast marble-floored dining room.
It's a big room, isn't it? It's very grand. And what I like about it is often dining rooms are that slightly forgotten room that just need dusting and get used on high days and holidays. But this is right in the heart of the house, so you experience it all the time.
We had one of those dining rooms in our last house, and we said we don't want that again.
We want to use it.
Yeah, want to use it, want to walk through. All the activity goes through here.
And it feels, it's nice with all these doors off it. It really feels like you're in the heart of the building. It's
Yes, that's right.
You know what's going on in the house when you're sat here.
The room that was once a barn is now a country kitchen of oak and granite. Ascend the split marble staircase and the luxurious use of antique style continues.
We have a visitor wing that side.
Okay.
And our rooms are up this side.
From the mahogany four-poster bed to the Victorian-style bath with rib cage shower enclosure. Up here, amongst Polly's collected curios in the first floor lounge, there remains a solid reference to the barn that once occupied this part of the building.
Let's look at these bits of oak. I mean, they're enormous, aren't they?
Well, we had to replace them because the others they disintegrated because they'd been empty for 35 years. And these are big pieces of Welsh oak.
What's this strange stone structure in the corner?
That is John's loving life, which is his still.
His still?
His dispensary. Full of drinks. If you name a drink, we can make it for you.
It's like a giant cocktail cabinet.
It is, yes. Every evening when we're here, cocktail hour, 5 o'clock.
We've got 10 minutes.
Oh, come on then, quickly.
But find John.
I love a couple who take their cocktails seriously. And Polly and John seem to have turned it into a carefully timed art, which they enjoy in the modern and bright orangery that's tacked on to the ground floor.
I mean, there is a sort of timeless elegance and grandeur to this house, isn't there?
Well, I think so. Yes, I love it.
Long may these traditions continue.
Oh, cheers.
Well,
Cheers.
we'll see you next year then.
Yeah.
For the final property on my tour around fabulous Anglesey, I'm heading back to the Menai Strait and its ever-changing tide line. I'm here to visit a home I'm told boasts some of the best views on the island.
Right, so this is it here, is it? Yep, this is it.
From the rear, this appears to be an understated bungalow. However, owners Alexis and Lee Ranson assure me all will be revealed.
That's great, isn't it? When you're on that road and you see the back of the house, you have no idea that this is here.
20-foot wide wall of glass provides panoramic views of North Wales's most iconic landmarks. From Telford's Bridge to another feat of Victorian engineering, Bangor Pier, while in the distance the mountains of Snowdonia lurk sullenly under low cloud.
To walk through that door and to have that.
It's magical.
The scenery is certainly enchanting. But equally as eye-catching is Alexis and Lee's modern home, perched on a precipitous hillside and with verdant terraced gardens. This two-storey home is a richly textured treat, where crisp white render and cedar wood cladding punch through the canopy of trees.
So when you peered over, this is very much what attracted you to it?
Yeah, the view was the same, but the house was very different.
Yeah, because this feels almost like a totally new-built house.
Yeah.
There was a fair amount of structure here. We've renovated and improved it enormously.
So stripped it right back, knocked it about.
It was very higgledy-piggledy.
And it wasn't open plan either, was it? So we opened it all up so you'd take advantage of the light.
Solicitors Alexis and Lee created one elongated room that stretches around 35 feet, with lounge at one end and an eye-popping kitchen diner at the other.
So in here, I mean, nice to have like different floor finishes.
Yeah, we wanted to
splitting the
delineate
places.
everything. So this was a living area and we'd use lots of the wood, and there's obviously wood on the outside of the house, so different contrasting materials, because obviously it's all open plan. But it's nice to feel that you're in a different section of the house.
Stairs of walnut, steel and glass lead down to 4 bedrooms that provide plenty of space for the couple and their 3 children. Patio doors turn sleeping quarters into scenic viewpoints, and even on an overcast day, you're lured outside by the landscape.
Can we go out on the balcony and take a look?
Of course.
Sure.
I like the way that it sticks out, so I assume you get a better view down the straight. I see, yeah, just by coming out that extra couple of metres, it really opens up the view right down the coast, doesn't it?
Right down to the Great Hall.
Is that the big lump of rock sticking out there?
That's another name for it.
A slightly more technical name, I think, than big lump of rock. But there's a lot of good sort of people and life watching from up here. Just sort of like what, you know, the days go by, boats up and down. This is the thing that really drew you here, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the kids were of an age where actually being able to go out on kayaks and boats and fish and go in rock pools was just such a brilliant bonus for them. They spent many a summer down there just enjoying themselves.
Just mucking about here.
Absolutely, we could leave them there for hours.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not a sandy beach means hardly anybody walks down here, so it feels like our private beach.
The main house is around 75 feet above the waterline, and the steep slope can make getting to the shore a little tricky.
Wow, that's quite some drop, isn't it?
Yeah, be careful.
It's good exercise going down there.
Yeah, you better not forget anything when you go to the beach. What, it's a hot tub here?
Hot tub there, yeah, which gets the sun right at the end of the day.
Imagine it's pretty tough doing the gardening on this slope.
Good fun, yeah. You have to keep your wits about you.
However, when you arrive by the mighty Menai Strait, it's worth the effort.
It's very beautiful down here, isn't it? And you get to see up towards the suspension bridge. In a way, it's kind of got a whole nother character again, hasn't it?
Yeah. It looks very different down here.
It does. And your garden is incredibly lush. I mean, there's some amazing plants in there that I just don't think would grow up here.
It's got an incredible microclimate here, so you can grow things that you would never grow in Manchester or London. It's incredible.
So what, there's olives?
With lemons and oranges upstairs.
We've got a fig tree as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
That are out all year, outdoors?
Oh, yeah. There's no frost.
So it's not really like North Wales, is it? It's almost a bit like sort of Italy or something.
Well, the one place that it always likened me to when I looked at it was how much when we went to the Italian lakes. You had the water, the mountains and the changing seasons.
So sort of Garda up in the hills.
Very much so. With the boats all out during the summer.
And then a bit of snow on the hills, I can imagine it.
Today, sadly, those leaden skies make this feel more Gwynedd than Lake Garda. However, down here, the world's your oyster, and Alexis and Lee have created their own little pearl, should the Welsh climate take a turn for the worse.
Well, we used to sit in here, watch the children sail, whatever the weather.
So you can just be nice and warm and, yeah, carry on. It's okay going blue, it's part of toughening you up. You can see that there's a real love for the property that you guys have got, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, we're passionate about coming here. It's a very special place.
I can see why.
Visiting Alexis and Lee's home has been a great way to end my trip around this fascinating and beautiful section of Britain's shoreline.
Anglesey's a relatively small island, but full of massive variety. Everywhere you go, you get a real sense of its long, unique history, and the houses that I've seen reflect that. Anglesey is an undiscovered gem, full of secrets, and it's worth coming here to explore it and enjoy it.
Next time I'm in North Devon, where modern thrones of stone tower over sandy bays. Victorian villas rise majestically from the cliffs, and coastal cottages deliver a masterclass in glass.
That is amazing. That's incredible.